Is Rapid TV. Rapid TV. Keep watching. Keep it down. Leave it like that.
All right, welcome back and thanks for staying with us. It's still Rapid Dawn right here on Rapid TV. And apologies for coming in really late. I mean, circumstances beyond our control. But anyways, today's conversation is one that I would say is about something that is on the mind of every Nigerian right now. And that is survival on the mind of every Nigerian. Right now, we've reached a point where for many people, just being able to feed the family, pay the rent, and get through the day feels like a major achievement.
It is.
You know, it's about the new success in Nigeria, and how did we even get to this point, right? Because you'd see a lot of people talk about how the most basic things of life they still struggle to get the most basic things of life. And I know that might not be usually the kind of conversations we have here on the Rapid Dawn, but I mean, it is important that we have these kinds of conversations, because again, it's like doing a reality check. A reality check in the sense that we might get used to, anyways, this is a Nigerian thing. We get used to certain conditions, regardless of how unfavorable they are. You know, we say today that the price of fuel is 5,000, no, it's 1,000 naira. Tomorrow they say it's 5,000. We're just going to make noise about it for a week, and then we adjust to that. I remember from the start of the conversation today, we're talking about how these adjustments that we make has unconsciously built a culture of accepting poverty, you know, here in Nigeria. Like I said, survival is not the new norm in Nigeria. You have to find one way or another to survive. And this is a very terrible state to be in, especially because people can now abandon their values. People can now throw out whatever looks like discipline just to be able to survive. And this is not the best place that a country can put its people. We know that also in the political scene, there's been a lot of back and forth in the system, from people moving from one political to another, the coalition being formed, and, you know, people making bold statements about the 2027 elections, ignoring 2025 and the realities of 2025. And this is a situation that a lot of Nigerians has come out to boldly kick against. And so we will be lending our voice also in activism, because this is what we should do, not just to highlight the things that work in our country, but also to be able to highlight some of the things that are not working. And this is not to lament, it's also to let the government know and the necessary body knows that we are aware of the tussles that happen both in the political and the social sector. Are you aware that there's been a recent attack in places like Plateau State? I saw very disturbing videos of family members, you know, in agony because of how their loved ones are being taken away from them. And now some part of me just feels like we are starting to accept this. Life comes and life goes. It's easy to say that, especially when you are not in a position to experience what it truly means for someone to be taken away from you. And now the painful part of all of this is the fact that the politicians who are responsible to take care of lives and property come out to just sympathize with victims, sympathize with people who have lost family members, and now give statistics that might not even be true about the death toll that this kind of crisis has caused in this community. Nigeria is our country. It is. And no matter what we want to do about it, every other country can segregate us, can sideline us, can treat us any way that they can, you know. We don't have so much control over that.
No, we don't.
The only way we can directly have control over that and influence how they treat us is how we treat ourselves. Do we even put ourselves in a good light? Do we even treat ourselves well enough to be treated by others? These are the conversations and these are the issues we'll be raising today at this 9 o'clock hour of Rapid Dawn.
And of course, you know, you've established it. The points are so salient. You know, and again, you look at the way we live our lives in this part of the world, and you just know that almost every one of us, right? Almost every one of us were doing things based on hand to mouth. You understand? And that's the survival mechanism.
Yeah.
You hustle today, you eat it tomorrow. You know,
Hustle again.
Hustle again. So it's difficult for people to even begin to work on the culture of savings, which has been one of the
Can
things.
your savings save you?
I mean, it has been the core. Everyone has been saying, save, 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 save. In fact, I had a conversation with my dad before I traveled down to Abuja one time. And I was like, Mama, you have to try to save. I'm like, Pops, this money they reach you, you know, because the truth is, it's never enough, you know, from
Absolutely.
the cost of living, the cost of goods in the market. Let me quickly say this. You know, in our local parliament, they will say, pursue madman, come off for road. And because of the madman, not be a family member. You understand? If that madman is related to you, you'll find a way to want to bring the person home, right? And that's some of the challenges that we're facing right now in the part of the world. Let's get down to cost of living to start with. Price of goods in the market, groceries. As simple as these things sound, groceries have become very luxurious items to buy. You get down to the market to buy milk, just a tin of milk, liquid milk, let's start with liquid milk, and you're buying it for over 1,000 naira. You
Something
know,
that used to be, I remember that thing being 150
Yes.
naira, 200, 250,
now
and
it's
then
over 1,000
over
naira
1,000
for
naira.
one. Now let's say you're in a family of 3. Let's just do minimum of 3. How many would you buy? So you'll be buying maybe two at least, so it can be enough for the family of 3. You know, and that means you're going to be buying for over 2,000 naira just that particular
If
item.
you have young children, it's even different.
It's different.
Because these people need this in sufficient quantities to grow.
to grow,
Yeah.
you know, and then you move away from there. Buy a loaf of bread, Martha.
2,000.
Bread, what would they use play around our? No, I have to mix this with our local balance, you understand? Because with a chop bread on the steady, you know, you get onto the market, to the supermarket, and then you buy your bread for, I mean, a full loaf of bread, the family size. Before now, you could buy for less than 1,000. Family size of bread right now is big time luxury. The normal loaf now, you're buying for 1,900, 1,500, 1,200. If you never reach 1,000 naira, you never started to buy anything. Get on to buying a bag of rice. Just a little bit, just one leap, a bag of rice. The least you can find a bag of rice in the market now is about 70,000 naira. That is the least, the minimum that you can get for a bag of rice. Talk about crate of eggs. My friend and I were having a conversation sometime, and then back then when we were in the city of Ide-Ife, this was like 7 years ago anyways, you could still buy a crate of egg for 350 naira. You know, it went on to 500, 1,000 naira. Right now, a crate of egg is fluctuating between 5,000, 6,000 and 7,000 naira, depending on the size of egg that you're buying for one crate of egg in the market. Again, how many crates of egg are you going to buy, you know, before you can get yourself and your family properly fed? Vegetable oil, you know, and let's even move away from, you know, edibles and go to housing. You know, get down to housing. You know, I've been hearing ridiculous prices when it comes to accommodation. First of all, in the city of Abuja. Then if you get down to this, the city of Lagos, you get down to Port Harcourt City as well too. It is crazy. The cost of housing is crazy. They go tell you house rent, you know, for a self-contained. A self-contained, you know, is just the room with a kitchen and bathroom inside the room, and someone is asking you to pay 1 million naira or 800,000 naira for the self-contained. Then join the agency fee and every other thing. For your first payment, you're looking at paying over 1,500,000 naira. Now, for a young man who wants to set up his life, where he wants 1.5 million naira to start with, you're renting a house. I mean, you're not renting a 1-bedroom flat, you're renting a self-contained, and then the landlord, the agents, everyone is telling you pay 1.5 million naira for an empty house, right? An empty house. So it means that if you want to now put that house in order,
you need double the amount.
So you need 3 million naira to rent an accommodation and furnish your accommodation. I'm not talking about full furnishing. Get the normal maybe 4x6 foam with a bed with a bed frame, right? That is already costing you about over 300,000 naira or 500,000 naira if you buy a new one. If you're not going down to the clusters, which is one of the things people are beginning to look at now. People are buying the cluster product so that it can be affordable for them. Martha, refrigerator right now.
Victor, it's okay. Calm down.
Okay.
But the truth is, it's looking like the middle class is going extinct.
Middle class?
Yeah.
There's no middle class no more. It's either you're rich or you're poor.
Yeah, it's like the middle class is going extinct, or probably we're redefining what middle class means. I absolutely do not know.
I just told you there's no more middle class.
but the situation is it's one of grave concern. Now let's look at a little bit of statistics. So it doesn't look like we're talking, just ranting. The standard of living in Nigeria is currently low. Really low. Significant portion of the population with poverty and high cost of living as the major challenges that we experience here in Nigeria. Remember the last guest we had here, I think it was on Monday, he was talking about, at the time when Buhari was in power, recession was not just a Nigerian thing, it was a global thing. The world was facing recession at that time. But look at that time until now. Other countries have been able to bounce back from that recession, but it's looking like we're still experiencing some level of, the after effect of the global recession that happened at that time. Now, Nigeria has a large population, right? And some economic growth, particularly in the oil sector. We have seen a number of growth. In fact, look at the amount of money that is being realized from the subsidy. And, the president reports on the rechanneling of this amount of money that was being made from the subsidy. But we still have inadequate infrastructure, which brings us to the question of what you are talking about, the housing in Nigeria. Not only do we have inadequate infrastructure, we have very haphazard rules when it comes to housing here in Nigeria. There is supposed to be a standard amount of money. Simple. If we have a structured system, you say for a self-con, this is the amount of money you should get. For a 1 bed, for 2 beds, this is the amount of money. But many times when these conversations come up on the social space, it's looking like I can't tell the landlord how much to put his house. But they should be guided by the laws of a land.
Of course.
Every land has a law. It's just like when the FCT minister comes and says, I'm revoking your license for this land because of this, because of that. These things are constitutionally backed.
True.
So it's easy to be able to hold someone accountable, especially when there's a law, that is stating clearly what is expected of that person. But when it comes to infrastructure, or when it comes to housing, particularly in the FCT, we have not seen very strict rules being adhered to or being put in place in the first at all. So you see anyone comes up and tries to put in and tries to decide what they want to decide and do whatever pleases them. But a large percentage of Nigerians live below the poverty line. And just as you have said, we might not have a middle class in the next couple of years, because it gets increasingly difficult for people.
Truly.
Now, estimates of this poverty rate ranges from 40.1% to over 52% of people in the poverty rate. And this translates to tens of millions of people struggling to meet basic needs. And what are basic needs? Food, water, shelter, and electricity, and clothing. These are the 5 basic needs of every human. Now, if we want to start to access each of these that we have mentioned, which is at least affordable enough for the common man to get. Let's look at clothing. Usually, there used to be a balance between the middle class, the high class, and the lower class. And by these, especially in clothing, and by these I mean, there are affordable options for these people to pick from. But now we have seen a trend where the people who now subscribe to having designers items now have regular unlabeled items.
Of course.
People who would normally wear labeled items before now have moved to thrift items. And thrifted items used to be like the hope of the common man previously. But now that the middle class have moved from labeled items to thrifted items now to the almost rags,
I'm telling
as a matter of fact, it has become a matter of urgent crisis. Now, poverty rates are higher in rural areas compared to urban areas. This was the reality. But even in urban areas, for instance, look at Nigeria. Do you see the number of people that loiter around the streets of the FCT looking for survival? And by this I mean well-clothed human beings, properly dressed people with tie and bags, looking sane and put together, are now on the streets begging. We might like to call it corporate begging, but what happens to a man who uses the last amount of money in his account to go out to work and does not have a way to return home after work? he subjects to begging.
Definitely.
And so when we are talking about the crime rate increasing in Nigeria, we must understand that this is the ripple effect of the economic situation that is the reality here in Nigeria.
Very true.
Chinua Achebe says that things fall apart, the center can no longer hold. And if we find ourselves in such a situation, we see people abandoning what values look like. We now redefine values in this part of the world. You know, things that usually will be outrightly wrong, we say it's not that bad, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
We give it a new meaning.
Exactly.
And we see that the value system here in Nigeria drastically declines, especially because situation has placed people in a point where they now want to survive rather than upholding these values.
And it's quite sad, Martha, where we have parents that are supposed to look into their children, parents that are supposed to question their children, train their children with a stern hand, being accomplices, to certain level of crimes that young people are committing right now in our world and generation. So there are lots of rants that I want to make right here, plenty of rants, but it's mid the hour. And I'm sure many Nigerians have a lot of things to also rant about. And so the WhatsApp line is going to be on your screen. Share with us. How is it biting you? Where is it biting you in this country, Nigeria? From food to transportation to hospitality to utilities, wherever it's paining you, let us know. Join your voices to our own voices right here on Rapid Television or Rapid Dawn as well too. Let's be part of the conversation. And we're going to come back just in a moment to continue with the rant right here on Rapid Television. Stay with us.
All right.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nightcom Sat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Are you missing out on interviews, music, entertainment, thought-provoking discussions, and more? Don't sweat it, man. We've got you covered. No matter where you are, be part of the action 24/7, online and live.
Caesar Radio.
On Facebook, it's Rapid FM Umuahia. On Instagram, it's official Rapid FM. And on X, it is Rapid FM 965. Tune in to Rapid 96.5 FM or listen to us live on our website at www.rapidfm965.com or radiogarden.com.
Better yet, get our mobile app from the Google Play Store.
Catch the pulse of the Southeast on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city.
Hey, Oyanam, all Caesar Radio.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV. And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is
Rapid TV. Rapid TV. Keep watching. Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
Welcome back, and you're still watching Rapid Dawn on Rapid Television. Before we went on that break, we were ranting about the high cost of living in Nigeria. And of course, Martha gave us some statistics. And I was basically ranting from the place of pain, from the place where it touches me as well. And I believe that to many of you out there that are watching, it touches you in some of these places as well. Transportation is another aspect that we need to look into, Martha. It seems like for every drop in the city of Abuja, I mean, the shortest trip could cost you as maybe 200 naira. That is the shortest you can pay for your shortest trip. I remember just flying the bike from point A to point B, about a 3 minutes kind of drive. And of course, I had to pay 200 naira for where normally you could consider, say, you could pay 100 naira paying for. Now, since the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria, it seems like transportation doubled. Everywhere you're heading to, you must have to have a lot of money in your pocket to pay for transportation. Not just because you're using the e-hailing cabs, no, but because even when you're jumping buses, from 800 to 1,000 naira, you know, from Dawaki to Area 3, you know, you have to pay the minimum of 800 naira, depending on the driver. I remember paying 1,000 naira from Dawaki to Area 3, 1,000 naira, and I heard that prior to this time, you could pay as low as 500 naira, you know, for that particular journey. What happened? Get down to utilities. We have band A, band B, you know, meters as well too. Some persons still operate by meters. Some persons are still paying based on estimated bills, you know. But get down to utilities. How much do you pay on your electricity tariff bill? Some persons pay as high as 60,000 naira every month. Some pay more than that. I'm talking about home users. Get down to offices as well too. People in their various offices are paying as high as 1 million naira. I remember in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, when the band A, band B gist came on board. That was within 2024, if I'm not mistaken now. I remember having to have conversation with certain people, certain business owners, and they said to us, we were paying 400,000 naira monthly for our utility bill. But ever since the introduction of these bans in the electricity sector, they now pay as high as 1 million naira and over 1 million naira. Now the question is, who is going to bear the brunt of these fees? The common man who walks into those facilities to also patronize them. Generators. Almost every Nigerian family has generator in his house. And for you to even power your generator, you need to have the minimum of, say, 3 liters or 4 liters in your generator to carry for quite some time. And how much is a liter of fuel right now? Some places they still sell for 1,000 naira. Some places they sell for 900 naira. And some places they sell for, I think the list is 900 and something naira, basically, you know, for fuel. Internet usage, which is something that every Nigerian right now, especially young people, depend on so much. Because some persons have adopted the work from home system. They begin to, you know, decide to spend more on internet. And how much do you spend on internet on monthly basis? We have the unlimited for some of these providers. You know, some of them as little as high as 35,000 naira. That's like the minimum you can even pay for unlimited. And yesterday we were having a conversation how it has
data usage statistics.
You know, very scary right now, where you can, I mean, 1 month subscription, you have to do it every single day. And there's no way in our current world that a young person will want to stay off internet. You know, you must use data on a daily basis. It means that data as well too sucks your money. You know, is that crazy? Now let's go to something that even pains me the most: education. Okay. Young people are dropping out of school. Parents are pulling out their children from school because they can no longer afford the cost of education. I'm talking about public education even right now. Okay. Primary schools that even pay as little as 5,000 naira to 20,000 naira their tuition fees. Most parents cannot afford to pay these fees for their children. And so parents are pulling out their children from school because they can't afford to pay these fees. Not because they don't want to, but because the system has not been favorable to them. Because even minimum wage that we were talking about, how many persons earn up to the minimum wage in Nigeria? You know, both private sector, the government sector, Nigerians are basically just surviving. On daily basis, people are looking out for ways to just see that they find money in their hands. And again, that has led to the increase of the vices we have in our country, Nigeria. All right.
Let's take a look at this World Bank report that talks about how Nigerians are now in poverty as what do they call it? Inflation outturned the minimum wage. Now, it says nearly half of Nigerians' population is now living in poverty as inflation continues to outturn the purchasing power of the country's minimum wage. The World Bank says that this report was in May 2025, this year, which is like
2 months back.
2 months back. Now, the development update, that's the NDU, it was released in Abuja. It disclosed that 46% of Nigeria, as opposed to the 40.1 that was previously released, that 46% of Nigerians, about 107 million people, were living below the international poverty line. And the international poverty line is at least $2.15 per day. That is $2.15. Is that right? $2, 15 cents or whatever.
15 cents, yeah.
15 cents.
Yeah.
So poverty line is $2.15 per day in 2024. This was the borderline for international poverty rate. And even as the country boasts of Africa's largest economy, we still are seeing people below that line. Imagine earning less than $2 per day.
Yeah.
Now, the report said, let me read a bit of the report. It says, successful years of rising inflation and sluggish growth have increased poverty and hardship levels. So since 2018 to 2019, an additional 40 million people fell into poverty, and nearly half of all Nigerians, about 46% measured at the international poverty line of US 2.15, based on the 2017 PPP, are estimated to have been living in poverty in 2024. Now, labor incomes have not kept up with inflation, depleting the purchasing power of Nigerians. Poverty has deepened and broadened, especially among urban Nigerians, as opposed to the rural Nigerians who used to, constitute more of the poverty line here in Nigeria. I'm talking about purchasing power. We're in a country where everything can increase 100 times, but salaries remain the same. Stipends remain the same, every other thing remains the same. It's more like the person economically stands still, but is still expected to be productive. And remember yesterday when we were talking about the productivity levels, especially in the Nigerian workforce, we have been having conversations about the future of work. I mean, you have seen it all over the social space. The future of work. The future of work depends on the, we want to get a good quality of work, but we want little to no input in producing that quality of work. So sometimes when you see most young people demotivated in carrying out tasks and responsibilities, even though they have a job, it is because they are not directly affected by, the company does not directly factor in the hardships and the current realities on ground.
True.
Do you know that if you are earning 100,000 right now, you most likely will not be able to afford anything? You most likely will not, because transportation alone, like you said, would probably eat at least half of that money that you're earning. Now, it says that the World Bank report emphasizes the need, emphasizes the disconnect between economic data and the lived realities, highlighting that while Nigeria's GDP may be growing on paper, the wealth is not reaching the ordinary citizens. And for a static perspective, Nigeria's economy needs to grow to boost incomes and meet aspirations. The report also added that in one of its biting remarks that the bank said Nigeria's annual GDP per capita stands at a mere 4.4%, of Singapore, and just 30% Botswana, a fellow African country with fewer natural resources than Nigeria has and better economic governance. And it boils down to what we said this morning. The problem is not exactly the constitution.
It's leadership.
It is the leadership and the system. So if Nigeria's current annual report, economic output was equally distributed, which would be sufficient to eliminate poverty, but it will still leave Nigerians far behind the global prosperity frontier, the bank noted. So, like they said, the GDP might be growing on paper, but how does it directly or indirectly affect the lives of the common man? This is one thing that we haven't seen over the years. And like we said, we just might call this segment the Thursday rant. It's not about just coming to talk about these things. It's just seeing how it directly affects the common man on the streets.
Of course. And again, it's a good thing that the statistics are showing us everything that we're talking about right here. But what the painful part of the rant still remains the fact that we cannot even do anything with the resources that we have. According to that report, some of African countries, they do better than we do, right? With fewer natural resources. Fewer natural resources. It means that Nigeria has quite a lot. So much. I mean, we've talked about the beauty, the arable lands that we have, the mineral resources that we have. Of course, we are depending so much on oil. That alone, I believe, has what it takes to even lift Nigeria out of poverty. But we've not even leveraged on that so much. Agriculture, we still have agriculture, beautiful lands, beautiful produce that we can, as well, send out to the world and make money from it, make Nigeria better. We're not even considering all of that as well too. Now we come back to leadership again. How many Nigerian leaders really have the people in mind? Or whenever they come for their campaigns, we see them do things. Some years ago, I saw one of the, I've forgotten his name now, I saw one of the politicians. I think he was hawking on the street. He literally had to carry the goods of a trader who was hawking her product on the street. He picked it up, hawked it. I saw another one buying corn from a trader on the street. These guys, during campaign season, they will come out and be with the people. After the campaign season, they will get down to their luxurious vehicles. Just recently, we saw in the House of Senate how these guys want SUVs. You know, how they were approving funds for SUVs. And within that period, they were telling Nigerians to understand. They were telling Nigerians to be patient. Why Nigerians were being patient? Those that are in the hands of authority, those that are in the hands of power are busy sharing money for SUVs. Where are they going to drive these SUVs? On the roads that are not even properly repaired as well. Now you look at these situations going on in the country, Nigeria, and you tell the common man to relax. There are lots of things that our Nigerian leaders need to get right. They need to understand that leadership is by example. Leadership has got to be you feeling the pulse of the people. If the Nigerian people, then the common man cannot afford one bag of rice, maybe that is too far. If the common man cannot afford what the Yorubas called one derica of rice, I've forgotten what the Northerners call it here, talking about just maybe one container, one custard, you know, of rice.
Is the Northerners that call it derica?
Derica, really?
Yeah,
I heard derica more
so.
in Lagos State, you know. But if, yeah, so derica now, if you cannot afford to buy one derica of rice as a young person, as a family person, I mean, what are we doing in our country, Nigeria? That is so tough for Nigerians to feed. It is so tough to feed. That is like the highest of the high, where nationals cannot feed themselves properly. You know, talk about the fact that people even need, I mean, cost of medication now, Martha. Let's go to healthcare. Cost of medication, which is quite crazy. Make malaria do you now? Just get down to the pharmacy. You won't be able to purchase those medications because of the high cost of those medicines in the pharmacy. It is quite sad.
All right, let's move a bit to solutions, and which is what will draw us to the end, because we will not just come to talk about all of these things. And remember when we had the conversation about USAID, and our resource person at that time said it is important that Nigeria or Africa stands up to the event of the production of locally made medicines as well, because if we continue to the reason we experience certain level of recession or we experience certain level of hardship is because of our over-dependence, maybe not over-dependence, dependent on foreign communities. So when they withdraw certain level of support, we start to experience a level of lag within the system, or decline within the system, because our dependence, exactly, you know, for want of better, or for depends on them basically. So what the most important thing is, Nigeria now has to look within, because many other African countries, like we said, Botswana has better economy. They have Africans have some of the best performing currencies in the world, right? So if countries that have little to no resources, natural resources, like we do, are able to be as productive as they are, then I don't think we have any, we don't have any excuse.
No, we do not.
You know, we have all that it takes to improve the economy of Nigeria. We have all that it takes to do better with our system.
We do.
All we need to do is ensure that we set up better systems. And this is a call to the government, all the necessary bodies, to look into the poverty rate of Nigeria. I understand that having our GDP grow on paper will create a good image for the Nigerian economic system, so that we can attract investors as well. But it's important that the quality of life of the people is also improved, because much more than economic empowerment or economic development or infrastructural development, human capital development is twice as important, because the quality of life that is lived by the people now is the quality of our country eventually. You know, when they say youth are the leaders of tomorrow, it doesn't mean, doesn't necessarily mean that they will be presidents or all of them will be governors or something of the sort.
But
it's because they will be the quality of life they live now. They need to be taken care of now, so that the quality of life they live now is good enough that it is projected at the later time, which is the future which we all hope to see.
That's right.
So Nigeria is our country, and right here on Rapid on Rapid TV, we are lending our voice in activism to ensure that our country, Nigeria, moves up to par, not just economically and not just on paper, but that the lives of the citizens are truly influenced positively to bring about positive change.
That's right. And before we call it a wrap, let's quickly just take 2 messages as well too from our audience, because we're all ranting this morning. Samuel from Abuja says, honestly, it is getting harder to survive. Every week, fuel price goes up. I spend over 10,000 naira a day on fuel, but I don't even make that back. If I increase transport fare, passengers complain. How are we supposed to live like this? I believe that Samuel is a transporter. And Ruth from Port Harcourt says, before now, 5,000 naira could stock my table with fresh vegetables. Today, that same 5,000 naira buys almost nothing. Customers are also struggling, so they are not buying like they used to. I sit in the market for hours with barely any sales. We are just existing, not living. And these are the comments that we have, from Ruth and Samuel.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation, because I know that you are out there and you're watching and you're part of the conversation as much as possible. We had a good time today on the Rapid Dawn. And just to remind you, we are active across social media platforms on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, which is now X, by the way, and on Instagram it is at Rapid TV, and then on YouTube it is at Official Rapid TV. You can relive the moment, you can rewatch the moment. Of course, we have a website that is very much active, that you can catch us live every single day of the week at official, no, did I say at official? www.rbnradiotv.com. I am Martha Alu and
Victor Ake.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language, from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
My name is Akio Sakiodo.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. Go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV. And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out.
Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is
Rapid TV. Rapid TV. Keep watching. Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
Are you missing out on interviews, music, entertainment, thought-provoking discussions, and more? Don't sweat it, man. We've got you covered. No matter where you are, be part of the action 24/7, online and live. Caesar Radio.
On Facebook, it's Rapid FM Umuahia. On Instagram, it's Official Rapid FM. And on X, it is Rapid FM 965. Tune in to Rapid 96.5 FM or listen to us live on our website at www.rapidfm965.com or radiogarden.com.
Better yet, get our mobile app from the Google Play Store.
Catch the pulse of the Southeast on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city.
Hey, Oyanam, all Caesar Radio.
Correro, your front row seats to the most pressing issues, from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. My name is Iheanacho Prince, and I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
Nigeria's economy, the global markets, what does it all mean for you? From stock market insights to global financial news you need to know, from Wall Street to the main street and of course the marketplace.
Get the answers you need every week on Businessless with me, Faith Dafa Joseph, as I bring into focus the stories, strategies, and shifts shaping our economy. No angle is missed as I talk about the business, the people, patterns, and possibilities behind them. Welcome to the Business Lens.
Rapid TV, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Greatness is not faceless. Greatness has a face. It has many faces. It has over 200 million faces. It has your face. It has my face. Greatness is beyond what we do, it's how we do it. It is the people we do it for. It is never settling, continuously tinkering with an idea till answers to age-old questions emerge. It is our wittiness, it is our speed, it's our energy, it's our heavy punches. It is making melodies from anything. It is in the endless poetry of Nigerian life, joyful, frustrating, sad, exciting. It's the mix of colors, imitating the breathtaking tapestry of life. It's our defiance of fear and our almost defiant, nearly arrogant presence in the galleries of the distinguished. It is these everyday people creating timeless, priceless art, carving spectacle, crafting history. It is resilience woven into the fabric that we are made of and we wear. Etu, Ashoke, Akwete, Kura. Greatness, the Nigerian spirit. That thing about us that all recognize and still cannot find the right words to describe. Great is Nigerian. Greatness is when Tobi Amusho does the 100 meters hurdles in 12.12 seconds and a stunned world held its breath. Greatness is the chicken scratch guitar chords that bewitched the world. A new beat, Afrobeat, from Fela and now to Burna Boy, to Wizkid and Davido. It is the earthy Afro pop of Asha. It's the compelling, beguiling Nigerian R&B of Tiwa and Teni, and the alternative sounds of Thames, Johnny Drill and Chike. Greatness is how our phenomenal artists are selling out arenas both home and abroad with tens of thousands of people showing up to experience the pulsations of this mysteriously sweet music. Greatness is Kunle Afolayan, Jadesola Oshiberu, Kemi Adetiba, Nazo Nuzo, hitting mind-boggling box office numbers, securing global film deals, and rallying communities. Not so long ago, content was just television, and now digital content is the new oil, with our skit makers, content creators, thought leaders, growing our digital economy. Greatness is Professors Kayode Oyewumi and Musa Yakubu, being listed among Elsevier BV's most productive scientists in the world. Greatness is Ethan Nwaneri at 15, becoming the world's youngest player in the English Premier League. Witness is Abasi Enelbong, pioneering the inclusion of the African genome in research through 54 genes. And Aisha Tofa, building and nurturing a tech ecosystem through Startup Kano. Greatness is Amina Mohammed, championing the voice of global peace as we take a prominent place at the table. Greatness is Miracle Izuchukwu, becoming the youngest female commercial pilot in North America. Greatness is Faith Odunsi, calculating her way to become the global mathematics champion.
To express 0.00.
2.4 times 10 is minus 5.
Greatness is the pantheon of Nigerian authors. Their stories, our stories, bringing the world into the magic, the pain, the triumphs of the Nigerian experience. Greatness is the unicorns, 6 companies created by Nigerians under 30 years old, now worth over $1 billion each. The stories, the people, Nigeria. Each of these stories of greatness across the globe has you in it, and it has me in it. And we can almost take them for granted. They are so Nigerian. Chimamanda talked about the danger of a single story, where negative stories are used to flatten an individual's experience and overlook the many other stories that formed them. We are our stories. We are not one story, and we must tell these stories to ourselves and to the world. Nigeria is not faceless. It's not an obscure concept or a dream hiding behind the waving of a green, white, green flag. Nigeria has a face. It has many faces. It has over 200 million faces. It has your face. It has my face. What is a dream without a dreamer? You are a hero in this great story. Your name hasn't been mentioned yet, but it will be. You haven't caught the headlines yet, but you will. Oh boy, you never blow yet, but you go soon blow. You know it. I know it. I know you won't stop trying. You won't stop trying. I know you won't ever give up. You know you won't ever give up. How do I know? I'm in Nigeria, and you are too. And we don't stop until we win.
My name is Aki Osaki.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. Go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV. And I love Rapid TV.
Shut us. Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV.
This is Rapid TV.
Rapid
TV. Keep watching. Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
Unu ahụzuola ji ihe anọ nga awa ọjị nke anọ nga awa ọkwa Igbo a na-eti ọjị n'ọkwa ka ọkwa akwa ihe kwa akwa n'ala Igbo gosipụtara ihe ziri ezi so ana m asị dịka anyị tiri ọjị n'ọkwa na-amụ aka n'ọkwa ka ọ kwara anyị n'aha Jizọs asị m ọgidere anyị mma na-eke ọgidere anyị n'orie ọgidere anyị n'afọ ọgidere anyị na nkwọ atụ ha hụrụ taa ka ahụ ya echi ala ya gbara anyị ọhụụ anyị na-asị ka anyị karịa oji anyị lede anyị n'ọdụ n'aha Jizọs jiri aka erie edere aka erie ya gịnị mekwara anyị agaghị akarị oji anyị lede anyị n'ọdụ anyị si Chineke ekere eluigwe n'ụwa ihe ọma ya emewe ihe ọjọọ laa azụ onye kụwa onye kụwa onye ka ya kere ka ya aka anyị tọọ ji anyị atata ndụ na ahụike ụkwụ ọmụnụ jiri bịa n'ọfịs m taa dịka permanent secretary Minister of Information and Traditional Prime Minister Isingwu Autonomous Community ana m asị nke eke ya mma unu gị jiela n'aha Jizọs anyị tọọ ji anyị atata ndụ na ahụike ngwa bịa waa ya.
As the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Tap, 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 the book.
Eastern Circle.
Good morning and welcome to today's episode of Eastern Circle, reaching you live from our studio here in Umuahia, the capital of Abia, God's own state. Here we bring you up to speed with recent happenings from the southeastern part of Nigeria. I am Adeze Egwim, and I never do this alone. Michael is here with me. Good morning, Mikey.
Good morning, Adeze. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, looking blue and...
I want to blow you away.
Exactly. But I'd rather be seated by here. Please don't blow me away. I mean, when that happens, you have yourself to deal with on the show.
Please.
I don't think...
I can't afford to miss your company here.
It's not good for a woman to be alone.
Neither is it for a man to be blown
away. Anyway. Let me not drag you to that place because I might not win that war. I might actually not win that war. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to Eastern Circle. It's another beautiful day to be here. My name is Michael Odem, and I'm bringing you updates from this part of the country where the sun rises. This morning, of course, it's conversations, all right, around sanitation and sanity in the system in Abia State. So we'll bring you quite a number of these conversations when we return from the break. First, we look at the situation with a task force tasked with ensuring sanity in the system, especially in public places, and then we'll look at as well open access to water in Abia State, something that has been an age-long conversation with pipe-borne water being one of the issues, one of the things, facilities that the people are supposed to enjoy at will, but that hasn't really been the case. But seems something right about now has been done in that regard. But we'll get into this conversation shortly when we return from the break. Good morning. Stay with us.
As the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Ta 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 Igbo kwenu kwenu kwezono.
Eastern Circle.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Eastern Circle on Rapid TV. And moving on to our first story this morning, coming from Abia State, the Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Prince Uzo Nwachukwu, has declared that sanity is returning to Abia State, while urging the general public to support the task force efforts to return sanity to the state, following sustained efforts by the state's harmonized task force to restructure, retrain, and discipline its operatives for better service delivery and public engagement. Prince Uzo, who was represented at the strategic review session in Aba by Chief Fidel Ihene, Director of Operation and Strategies, emphasized that the exercise was aimed at restoring order, promoting professionalism, and improving public trust in the task force activities across the state. And for me, I think this is coming in at the right time, because we've come here in and one time to come and say what the harmonized task force are not doing right. We've complained of lawlessness, we've complained about harassment, we've complained about unprofessional conduct by members of this harmonized task force, which brought about mistrust by the public. And if you come out to tell us you've started training them, which is what you should have done in the beginning before recruiting them, it is good and fine. So it's now left, the commissioner is now calling on the general public to give them the support they require to do their job. But we need to see them change. We need to see them do the right thing. We need to see them do that particular thing that they actually came out to the road to do. But there's something I will actually say. I've noticed a lot of change. I won't take that away from them, especially those guys that are at Inumaya here at Warri Street by Umuwaya Road. All the tax force operatives there from Ishigate to, let me say, Lagos Street. Once they come out, they are doing what they're supposed to do. The tricycles are not supposed to park. There's no one-way driving. There's no trying to take corners and do whatever it is. And I really, really commend that. So if they've actually changed, I can't say for the totality of every member of the harmonized tax, but the few I say, it's really, really commendable that they're beginning to do that which we expected of them. But I think there should be a way of identifying members of this harmonized tax, so there should be a uniformed, either by uniform identification, either uniform or having an ID card, so that when you have a complaint, you can say, okay, this is how I want to identify this particular member of the harmonized tax force, and how to lay the complaint to the appropriate quarters. And the public should know who is in charge, who are these guys reporting to. So if, just the way we do with the uniform men, the police and others, to say we're reporting to so number, we should also have like a number put out there in the public where you get to call and say, I saw your guys extorting at this so place, I saw your guys harassing someone at so place. So when we're doing this and these guys come out to do what's right, it's not left for us, the public, whom they are actually out to serve, to do everything possible to support them to make sure they get their job done.
Yeah, you know, first of all, whenever there's an employment drive by the government, I mean, it's an open invite for a lot of people, especially unskilled people, to come in, and then it's not a bad thing, because we're trying to make job available for quite almost everyone,
okay,
right? As much as we can cover, the government is supposed to try to do that. So it's not a bad thing that people who do not have any security trainings or experience in terms of providing security services get to apply into such programs. But then where the job is, where the bulk of the work is the government, you know, trying to say, okay, if we're going to make this happen, because again, we're trying to, you know, increase the catchment area in terms of employment. So there should be training and retraining programs. And if this was done before the recruitment and all, yes, it will help us reduce the issues we had in the past with the task force people, because what happens is that most of them looks like it's the same
crowds that we're trying to get out of the road, not been giving uniforms.
Exactly. So, and it doesn't look good on the government, the reputation of the government and what they're trying to achieve. It's a noble idea, but then again, like I keep saying, the government is not even the one directly recruiting these people. It's about the plan, the procedure set on ground to ensure that the right persons are actually recruited. So it's the people, the downlines, who are actually executing these tasks, are the ones to be held accountable for the kind of persons they bring in. So there should be a robust program to say, okay, we have every level of, you know, to be able to isolate the people, to say people with this level of skill set here, these people here, and they have different levels of training to be given to them to make them ready to be able to serve in the harmonized task force. Because again, the idea of the harmonized task force, of course, it's great. It's been yielding results. I mean, we're seeing reduced cases of people extorting people in the marketplaces, destroying goods because you refuse to pay stuff, by harmonizing the payment system so that you're not paying to anybody's pocket. So by the time people, when those people know that they've been taken out of the job, they will have no reason to still, extort people and then harass people. So this training is very important. Training and retraining, because there is this thing about a human. Once you get into a place, because you've been accepted, after a while you become relaxed. There's this kind of complacency that might set in. So they have to, because of the nature of their service delivery, they're supposed to be on their toes every other time. They're supposed to be on their alert. They're supposed to be conscious of the security situation in the state. So that training is long overdue. And like you said, I think we are seeing some change with the harmonized task force. And talking about the uniform, I think it's just a case of, I don't know, not proper identification, if I may, because I know that I do see some uniforms. I do see different units and in different vehicles. I do see some sort of uniform, but I don't know how much of an identity that is. And which also brings me to the point where I think the, government agencies ought to be really, really more proactive than we are seeing. The National Orientation Agency, Abia State Chapter, for instance, they're supposed to be doing a lot more in terms of sensitizing the people in how to engage even with the task force, how to identify them, how to go about. So there's a lot, because the government is actually doing a lot. We're supposed to see the Orientation Agency talking about all of this, bringing the information to the people. The media, of course, the government cannot take away the fact that they're supposed to invest in media campaigns to be able to carry their activities to the people who might not actually be aware of a lot of things going on. What is the Orientation Agency doing? They're supposed to be the ones, educating the people, informing the people, highlighting the areas that people should be aware of, things that people should take note of, how to engage, how to deal with these people, how to report. Like you rightly said, feedback mechanism that will be taken seriously, by the way. So these are the things that the government ought to be doing in order to ensure that, it's holistic. While the government is busy working hard to bring about dividends of democracy, the people should also feel the impact. The people should also see that they are being carried along, that they are actually being recognized as major stakeholders in the system. So that's actually what I want to see the government do more. You should invest more via the Ministry of Orientation and National Orientation. So they should do more, basically, so that we know exactly when we see, how do we identify them when we see them on the street? What can tell us that these ones are not real? No, these are the things. Creatively create these campaigns and put them out there through all the media outlets we have in the state.
Because if you don't tell the people, there is no way they're going to know. And I've seen videos of something that happened that wasn't about, where instead of operational agencies came. I don't know if it's task force, they came, blocked a certain woman's shop and said she's not supposed to display her goods in front of her shop. And then the harmonized task force, those ones, they call themselves task force too. The first set of people call themselves. Then the second ones, which were instituted by the government, came and said, no, it's not right, you shouldn't do that. And the woman was confused. And she said, for the past few months, she has not been able to bring out her words because she was not able to identify and know who she was to go. She doesn't even know who to report to. She doesn't even know if the people that came to and said don't do this are the right ones. Now the second set of guys are coming and saying, no, you're not supposed, you've paid for this space, so you have to utilize it, the inside of the shop and the exterior part of it, you can display your goods. So this is it. So if you don't go out there to tell people this is what you should do, if you're not informed, you will not know the right thing to do. I think the people need to know so that we'll be able to help these guys do their job, because we need to cooperate with them so that they will achieve whatever it is they want to achieve. And while you're cooperating with them, report the erring officers, and you as an individual understand the importance of the sanity that the Abia State government is trying to bring into the state.
Exactly. And that is even the more reason, because I feel like for a government doing the much they are doing, that is doing the much that they're doing, I mean, it behoves on them to say, oh, we cannot just do this without carrying the citizens along. that aspect of governance is what that is still lacking in some way, and I think the government should fine-tune that area. The people who you're doing all of these things for, they should every step of the way know what is going on and how they can be a part of it, either by reporting people who are trying to vandalize the facilities, channels that they can do that, things that can be sometimes even subtle rewards for something that is done right, and those who are able to be their community watchdogs and all of that. So these are the things people should know. There has to be that synergy. There has to be that collaboration from the government, to the people, between the government and the stakeholders, the masses, for instance. So we have to see that happen, so that at the end of the day, what the government is doing, the citizens are also doing, making sure that the government's efforts are not put to waste.
Exactly. Let's move on to the next story.
Great. So on our next conversation this morning, the Governor Alex Otti of Abia State has commissioned actually the newly installed 150 kVA solar power system at the Abia Specialist Hospital and Diagnostic Center in Umuahia, a major step towards ensuring uninterrupted power supply for critical healthcare services in the state. In further demonstration of his administration's commitment to public health and sustainable development, the governor also launched the Aba Integrated Wash Accelerated Program at Okigwe Park here in Umuahia as well. And this far-reaching initiative is designed to improve access to clean drinking water, sanitation and hygiene services across urban and rural communities. And rounding off a day of landmark infrastructural strides, the governor also proceeded to St. Joseph College in Aba, where he commissioned the Aba Regional Water Scheme, a strategic project expected to significantly boost water supply to thousands of residents in Aba and its environs. Now, it's a lot, all right? I think this is beautiful. It's a trio of commissioning and key areas as well. Now, this kind of reminds me of the time ago when it was trending that a certain doctor was performing operations with
a touch phone flashlight.
So, it's crazy because again, power is an issue. In some other, I think it was in either Ogun State. I can't remember the state now. It was trending also that families of patients had to come to the hospital with generator sets to be able to power the ones that their family members are in. So these are laughable situations that when you see them, you think, this one is impossible, but actually they are possible, they're happening. So the government to leverage on the technology of solar power system now, I think it's very commendable because again, the institutions that provide medical services, they need constant power. You have to power the fridge, the refrigerators that store some of the drugs that needs to be kept at a certain temperature. You have to power at least the lights so that the people, the doctors or the patients can have access to wherever they want to go to, without restriction. Power is quite necessary for a lot of things. Some of the gadgets that they use in running tests, in performing some of the operations require power.
Exactly.
So this is great, and especially what a place to start at the diagnostic center. So it's important that the government across board key into these technologies to bring about quality service delivery to the people. So it's commendable that the Abia State government is doing this. And not just that, we talk about the water scheme. The water scheme, the WASH, that's the water sanitation and hygiene. This is an issue that is actually of importance because I learned recently that about 70-something% of Abians, it was a report by UNESCO that about 70-something% of Abians are at risk of waterborne diseases because of drinking water contaminated with feces, E. coli and all of those things, and which stems from open defecation. So quite a lot. That helps us to understand the importance of the fact that one of the commissioning he did was one of the public sanitation system, or a place where people can go to ease themselves publicly, and that also comes with its own challenges. Maintenance. I remember when I was in higher institution, in my school then, the government actually installed this new modern toilet system. So they had to employ people that would be stationed there
to clean.
To clean after the people, and also to kind of sensitize the people when they are going in on what to do, so that they don't mess the place up real bad. So I realized that over time that thing was not sustained. Either they couldn't keep up paying the people that were stationed there. For some reason, people stopped manning those places, and then the mess started. The rot, the vandalization started. So it's important to have this public sanitation environments set up by the government. But again, more importantly is the fact that they need to put up a system that can ensure sustainability, that can ensure protection of the facility, that can ensure proper maintenance of the facility. So that's also another area I feel that the government should key into. But before we talk further, let's get to have a feel of this trio of commissioning. So there you have it. It's important. Seriously, kudos to the government. I mean, the people deserve these public facilities, because again, especially public schools, because it pains me, it pains my heart that when I think I visited some public schools in the past. And one thing, because personally, whenever I'm looking for an apartment, you see, the two important places, apart from the room, the most important places for me, the toilet and the kitchen. So when I go to those public schools, I tend to look at the toilet system, where they could go to ease themselves. Most of the time, it's actually quite alarming what you get to see. And considering the fact that you have even young women in that place, they could contract diseases that could that could kind of ruin their lives later.
Exactly.
That's how bad it is. So it is important that this project be taken to all the public schools in the state, because these young people should have a proper place to ease themselves, without having to, I mean, you're going to ease yourself and then you're coming back with something even more devastating. It doesn't make sense. So this is a good opportunity for the government to carry this campaign across all the public schools in the state, to make sure that we have a proper hygiene and sanitary system in those places.
Exactly, Michael. And where this particular one is located, it's, I think that's a Kiwi Park.
Yeah,
I think moving from parks to get to schools, and I think markets should also be considered, because that is where people gather a lot, and they might want to use the convenience and the proximity of running from the market to their houses or wherever there's exactly. So just like you said, one of the major problems we're going to have with this particular system is maintenance, because once it is a public facility, we will treat it just like, we won't even handle it like knowing that there's a possibility of us coming back there tomorrow to make use of that. And the government should have a long-term plan to sustain this, not something that will run for a period of months, and they might not be able to continue paying whoever that is going to be stationed there, or the person will get irritated with how people are mismanaging the place and run away from there. Looking at it, it's beautiful. It's somewhere you can walk in. Probably you're traveling, you're on transit, you're coming to my house and you're pressed and you need to get yourself. You can walk into that place, use the convenience and come out. There's a running water there. So it's a beautiful thing, but let's look at the sustainability.
the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Ta, 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 Igbo kwenu. Kwenu. Kwezono.
Eastern Circle.
Hello, Rapid TV. My name is Kunle Remy.
Hello, Rapid TV. My name is William Suchemba.
My name is Choma Chukuka.
Hello, Rapid TV. My name is Stan Nze.
Hello, Rapid TV. My name is Vivian Glam Gabriel.
Hello, Rapid TV. My name is Jide Kene.
Hi, Rapid TV. My name is Steve Chooks.
Best Afrobeat song will go to The Bunch and Snoop Dogg, Oliver Twist.
Piece of my heart, Wizkid.
Right now, will probably Be Grateful by Fino.
My favorite Afrobeat song is Afrobeat.
I can't. There's so much.
It has to be one of our Rasta songs.
I love a lot of them. I don't think I have a favorite Afrobeat song right now. I cannot pick.
Aki and Popo.
Living in Bondage.
It has to be between Blood Sisters and Lionhearts.
I don't have favorite anything. I have favorite food. I have favorite colors. I barely have favorite any other thing.
Oh my God. Living in Bondage. The first one. I'm not a child.
Right now, a ghetto love story.
Okay, my favorite Nigerian dish would be
Banga stew with rice.
Come on now. Okwa.
Pounded yam and egusi soup.
Beans and plantain.
Is oha soup. Fufu and oha soup. Thank you.
Bread and akara.
Bitter leaf soup with catfish and snail and fufu. Proper Santana. Apple. Nekedu keke ime. Idi sure ne demma. Idi kwoi. Ilalo ofuma tata. Iteta iligo kwenni. Man ndi gna afọ. You nwike me things. You understand? Okay.
Are you missing out on interviews, music, entertainment, thought-provoking discussions, and more? Don't sweat it, man. We've got you covered. No matter where you are, be part of the action 24/7, online and live.
Caesar Radio.
On Facebook, it's Rapid FM Umahia. On Instagram, it's official Rapid FM. And on X, it is Rapid FM 965. Tune in to Rapid 96.5 FM or listen to us live on our website at www.rapidfm965.com or radiogarden.com.
Better yet, get our mobile app from the Google Play Store.
Catch the pulse of the Southeast on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city.
Hey, Oyanam, all Caesar Radio.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nightcom Sat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN, the sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Correro, your front row seats to the most pressing issues from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. My name is Ihiana Natural Prince, and I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV. And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is Rapid TV.
Rapid
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it down.
Leave it like that.